Okay. PTM, prop the mic here on a beautiful Thursday afternoon. How are
Yes,
you, my
sir.
friend?
I'm great, man. I'm very excited about how last night went.
Yes, sir.
And I'm equally excited about how tonight is going to go.
Yes. Can we just before we get into tonight, we have some new stuff going on behind you? What is all this?
Yeah, so Prop the Mic is about continuously getting better. That's what our show is all about.
Yes.
So last week we brought to you the date, right? Tom was going to start
Which
announcing
I forgot today. I did say Thursday, but I neglected to
Right.
say March 9th. Yes.
So it's all right. We'll try to do that.
We're working on it.
Regularly. But now
Baby
we've got
steps.
a shelving unit in the background displaying mostly stuff that I accumulated when I was like a teenager. So we got bobbleheads, we got autographed baseballs, we got my Kerry Kittles starting lineup.
Very nice.
It's all good.
Very nice. What's next? What are those two cards next to Kerry Kittles there?
Oh, those are my Shaq rookie cards.
Woo!
I went to Orlando as a kid. I think it was right around when Shaq was a rookie. So
Okay.
I guess I wasn't that much of a kid. And he and they were like trading some Shaq rookie cards outside of the hotel.
Oh yeah.
I went and got some of them then.
Nice. I like when it's got a little story. I like it. Yeah, I like when it's got a little story to it. That's nice. That's nice. Not just like some card you bought on Amazon or something. No. Yeah, nice.
No, those are straight out of Orlando, authentic. All right. Yeah, let's dive into it. We got 6 games tonight.
Yes.
Some good ones. There were some good matchups popping tonight. So
yeah, I found some real nice ones. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So first game, bottom of the barrel, Hornets at the Pistons. Pistons are getting 4 points at home, which is probably it's probably good because the Hornets are actually playing pretty well of late. They just coming off a big win at the Knicks, and the Pistons are just in complete tank mode.
Yes.
Totals 225 for the game. From what I saw, Burks is out, Stewart's out, Bogdanovich is out. It looks like Hayes is back. Duren is back, although they didn't have props up for him yet. And Jaden Ivey's playing. So
yes.
And the Hornets pretty much have everybody except for
LaMelo,
obviously.
Yeah.
All right.
On the Detroit side, going up against Charlotte, a few things we can look at here. I think you played a decent amount the other day. You have a nice matchup and normally I would never call this out, but I'm getting in the habit of calling out guys like Lindy Waters, which he had 23 points last night. Just want to
we should have covered that in the intro.
We should have.
Good.
All
right, so who's the Lindy Waters the third of today?
So the Lindy Waters the third of today is Rodney Magruder.
McGruber.
That's a great SNL skit. So the reason I like this is he'll actually play because all these guys sitting for Detroit today. And he's classified as a movement shooter, averaging 14.3 points and 4.6 rebounds per game against Charlotte, one of the best matchups in the league since February 1st for movement shooters. So just something I wanted to call out. But the play I was actually on was nothing from this side. But I do like Duren, but his no props were out for him.
Yeah, I love him. As soon as his props come out, it's going to be probably 8.5, 9.5 rebounds. I think those are both good plays, right?
Yeah, I like it. You have roll and cut bigs averaging 14.6 points per game. So that's him. That looks good. Stretch bigs, 12.5 rebounds per game. Mobile bigs, 11.3 rebounds per game. So it's real nice spot for him here. So definitely don't forget about him when those lines do come out later today. What I like did you have anything on Detroit?
I didn't know if Killian Hayes was playing for sure. It looks like he is, but when I first put this together, I was assuming he was not because he was questionable and he didn't play the last game. If he does not play, I like Jaden Ivey assists over 5.5.
Okay.
His last 3 games without Hayes, 11, 13, and 12. So he really takes over the primary ball handling responsibilities and playmaking responsibilities, even more so with Burks out. So if Killian Hayes doesn't play, he should be all over Jaden Ivey's assist line, although it'll go up. Right now, you can get 10 assists at plus 600.
Nice. Like that quite a bit. Yeah, and who else is gonna be their playmaker if Hayes is out? So yeah, I like that. On the Charlotte side, I got a nice one here. I got 2, but one that I really like. And he's one of our starters in the PTM starting 5. Can you guess who he is?
That would be Terry Rozier.
That is Terry. So
he's
the
not
reason
only the starter, he's probably the captain of the PTM starting 5.
Yeah, I think he might be. So the reason I like this is primary ball handlers, which he's already classified as, but even more so now with LaMelo out, averaging 22.4 points per game and 3.9, just a hair under 4 made threes per game since February 1st. So I like his points, 21.5. It's minus 140. His last 5 games against Detroit, 22, 23, 25, 33, 25. That dates back to last season, but includes, I think, both games this season. He's also done this in his last 8 of 11 on the road without LaMelo, averaging 23.5 points per game in those. Yeah. So that's a nice spot. What may be even nicer, though, and you pay a little bit more, it's minus 155 compared to minus 140, but over 2.5 made threes. He's also done this in 8 of 11 on the road without LaMelo. He's done this in 4 of his last 5 overall and 8 of his last 10 on one-day rest.
Yeah. I was on that for the Knicks game, and he finished with 2, despite all that competitive action there. I think I like his points better, although the threes are probably going to be good against the Pistons. So
yeah, I don't know. I'm leaning the threes here. Usually I lean always points to threes, especially lately. But I don't know. For this spot, I'm kind of feeling the threes. But
yeah. Okay. Anybody else on the Hornets?
Just one small one. Forward/small forwards. Great matchup. Points, rebounds, and assists. So averaging 21.5 points, 6.5 rebounds, 4.5 assists per game. So that's Gordon Hayward. I think I like his points here. 16.5 points, minus 110. He's done it in 7 of 10 overall, averaging just under 20 points per game.
Yeah. I got to be honest. I think every player on Charlotte is looking good in this game. Yeah. I liked Oubre. I liked 2.5 threes for Oubre. He's done this in 4 out of 5 games, and his 2 games against Detroit, he had 3 and 5. You could also go the angle of his points, 22.5 points. He's done this in 6 of his last 8 games without LaMelo. And he just seems to be on fire of late.
Yeah, so ever since he came back, right?
So that was my only play here. I'm not going to go too
all right, yeah, good spot for Charlotte. Yeah.
Okay. All right. We got the Rockets at the Pacers. Pacers are minus 9.5 at home. Total is a nice 236. The only notable injury that I saw was Kevin Porter Jr. was out. So,
all right, I got 2 nice ones here on the Pacers side. So I like Buddy Hield. He's a movement shooter, averaging 16 points per game since February 1st. His line is 16.5. Minus 125. He's done this his last 4 games on 2 days rest at home, 19, 22, 20, and 25. So all 4 of them cleared it by a nice amount. I don't have anything else here. Just kind of playing the matchup. I also like his threes. So wing slash small forwards, averaging 3.5 made threes per game against Houston. They are the number one team to target threes at, and this is one of the best positions to target threes against Houston. So it's 3.5 made threes, minus 120. He's done this in his last 8 of 10 at home. And his last 4 games on 2 days rest at home, he had 4, 5, 5, 5.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a frustrating player to bet on.
Yeah, he is.
I really, when we played him the other day, I just thought we were dead. I think he had like 4 points.
I had written it off.
But then, because he's a great 3-point shooter, he can just light it up, like put 2 or 3 up in a row, and then he's back in the game. So
I was shocked when you texted me that day that he had cleared. That was pretty awesome. Yeah.
All right. I like on the Pacers side, I like Halliburton.
That was my next guy.
Yeah, 22.5 points.
That's
minus
it.
130. There's not a good historical against Houston. He had 19 points last time they played.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just looking at his recent success against Dallas. He had 32. Then against Chicago, which is a good defensive team, he had 29.
Mm-hmm.
And then against Philly, which is an even better defensive team, he had 40.
Yep.
So guy is just shifting it into another gear. His assists are up. His points are up. But I like his points tonight just because 236 total.
It could be my favorite play of the day, to be honest with you.
Nice.
So more so, I love the only note I had here was his last 3 games, 40, 29, 32. It just speaks to that. But I only got there because he's got 3, was it 3? Yeah, 3 matchups going for him here. So primary ball handlers averaging 22 points per game against Houston since February 1st. Combo / shooting guards averaging 21 points per game against Houston going back to February 1st. And low activity defenders, my favorite, averaging 29 points per game going back to February 1st. So Tyrese, put it in the books, lock it up. I love this play.
Yeah, I'm just looking at his last game. It was a super low scoring game against the Rockets. They won 99-91.
Mm-hmm.
Halliburton shot overall 7 for 16, so not terrible shooting percentage, not great, but but he only shot 2 for 9 from 3. If you look at his last 2 games against Philly and Chicago, he's shot 5 for 10 and 6 for 9. So really, the difference between him hitting this and not hitting this is really his success from 3.
Yeah.
So, and I think he'll certainly be better. You
want a stat? Want a stat to make? What was that?
No, you just highlighted that the Rockets are a bad defensive team from 3, so that just should open up some opportunities.
I got one stat I didn't call out yet. Low activity defenders averaging 4.8 made threes per game against Houston since February 1st. So
it's such an offensive term, calling somebody a low activity defender.
Yeah. It fits a lot of guys.
Who's the number one player that you think of when you say a low activity defender?
Dame Lillard? I don't know.
No, I think of James Harden.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. You got me on that one. That's James
Right.
Harden. Yes.
All right. And nobody on the Rockets side?
Oh, we got someone on the Rockets. We got 2 on the Rockets side. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
All right. Great matchup here. It's one of the more specific categories. Post scorers, which Alperen Şengün is a member of. Averaging 23.7 points per game since February 1st, playing 25 plus minutes. Bigs / centers averaging 20 points per game since February 1st. Anchor bigs, this is a defensive category, averaging 19.7 points per game. So I don't have any trends or history for him. The best I got for you is he's cleared 15.5 points in 3 of his last 6 games. That's all I got. But I'm really I'm feeling this matchup here. So I like Şengün based on that.
All right. I was looking at his rebounds. It's just so close. I couldn't convince myself to get there.
Yeah. I did look at that too. The other one I like here, you got a nice matchup for wings / small forwards. That's Kenyon Martin Jr. both points and rebounds. 21.5 points, 6.5 rebounds per game. So I like his PR here. His PR is 21.5. He's done this in his last 8 of 10 on the road. He's also done this in his last 8 of 10 on the road in games that Kevin Porter did not play, which is a different 8 of 10. Yeah. So great matchup here. And he, the averages at this position will just have been crushing that number. So,
yeah. All right, cool.
All right.
Very good. All right, next we got the Jazz at the Magic. Magic are -3 at home. Totals 234. Wendell Carter is out tonight. So
yes, he is.
We can't play him and watch him get 4 fouls in the first 6 minutes.
No. I was just so Utah is the team you want to target. They're just like so many matchups popping off the board here. And a lot of them that just kind of, sometimes you got a lot of matchups, but they don't fit the team that they're playing with, right? This one, the matchups fit the team. So I like a few things on Orlando's side here. Let's start with Cole Anthony. All right. Mm-hmm. The reason I landed on Anthony, I like his points. I like his points, also his rebounds to a lesser degree, but I like the points the best. Primary ball handlers, 24.5 points per game, over 5 rebounds per game since February 1st. Point guards against Utah, averaging over 30 points per game and 7 rebounds per game since February 1st, playing 25 plus minutes. And a defensive stat, but one that fits Cole Anthony, point of attack defenders, averaging 17.5 points per game and 5.5 rebounds per game. So his line's only 13.5. He's done this in his last 3 or 4 overall. He had 23, then a game with 5, then 16 and 28. And without Carter in the lineup, he's done this in 6 of his last 10.
Yeah, I'm just looking at his last couple games.
Minutes?
He had a great game against Milwaukee. Just trying to understand Gary Harris's impact, right? Because it looks like Gary Harris has been out. So Cole Anthony's been getting like almost 30 minutes a game. Mm-hmm. Is that why? Because Gary Harris, I think, is back tonight.
He is back today. It's good. That is a good point. Yeah, those last 4 games. Well, how many? Gary Harris only missed 1 game, didn't he?
He missed the last 2, it looks like. But yeah, the game against Charlotte, Cole Anthony did not start. Gary Harris did start. Cole Anthony had 29 minutes and 16 points. So that is a good example of a game where they both played and he played big minutes. So I still like it after seeing that.
Yeah. All right. Next play I like on the Orlando side is Banchero. I like Banchero here because he's classified as a shot creator, averaging 25.5 points per game and 7 rebounds per game since February 1st. Forwards/power forwards, averaging 18.2 points per game, and help defenders, averaging 21.1 points per game and 6.5 rebounds per game against Utah, going back to February 1st, playing 25 plus minutes. So I like Banchero here, over 21.5 points. It's plus 100. He's done this in his last 3 of 5, averaging 23 points. And then I also like his over 6.5 rebounds, minus 140. He's done this in his last 4 of 8 at home. So nothing, he is up and down. You can, to be expected with a rookie. But I'm really playing the matchup in the spot here as opposed to the recent trends. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if Walker Kessler is out tonight either. That certainly would have an impact on this.
Yeah, I think he's still listed as questionable.
He's questionable, so that could help certainly on the rebound side.
Yeah,
just one less low post presence.
Yep. Okay. You also have, the lines aren't out yet because I haven't seen anything, but Gary Harris is also in a phenomenal matchup here for him, both points and rebounds. Just wanted to call it out so we don't spend all day on this game. I do have one more, though. Where is it? Franz Wagner, over 18.5 points, minus 105. This wasn't a tremendous matchup. The only one that I had was he's a wing. He's classified. This is a defensive metric, but he's classified as a wing stopper. They're averaging 18.6 points per game. That's exactly what his line is here, 18.5. He's done this in his last 8 of 10 without Wendell Carter, averaging 20.5. He's done this in his last 8 of 9 without Carter at home, averaging 24 points per game. He's done this in 6 straight without Carter at home, averaging 25.7 points per game. And on January 13th, he had 26 against Utah.
Nice.
Another member of our team, right? Or is he on the bench?
No, he's a starter.
He's a star. Okay, good.
Yeah. All right. Anybody on the Jazz side?
No.
I think I like Markkanen's rebounds tonight. What do you think about that?
Mobile bigs averaging 11 rebounds per game. I like it.
8.5 rebounds is his line. He's done this in 4 of his last 6 games, 3 of 4 games without Kessler. So if Kessler doesn't play, it's even better. The line will probably move up if he gets announced out. And his 1 game against Orlando earlier this season, he had 12 rebounds. So
yeah, I like it.
Okay. And he's just a beast. I was watching him the other night against Dallas. Like, he is just so good.
Yeah, he is a mobile big is a defensive categorization, and that's him. So this fits very nicely. I didn't kind of ran out of time, so I didn't get to there, but I'm glad you did that. I like that play quite a bit. Yeah.
All right, we got the Warriors at the Grizz. Grizz are getting 2.5 at home, 235.5 is the total. Warriors are pathetic on the road. I got to be honest, 7-25 away. They're above 500 overall on their record. So they have just like this opposing home and away. They win all the time at home and they can't win on the road. Wiggins is out. Morant and Adams are out for the Grizzlies. There's some extra fuel on fire for this game too. I don't know if you saw Draymond's podcast that came out. I don't know if it came out yesterday or today or whatever, but he basically is just trashing
Ja.
No, what's his name? Dylan Brooks. You know, they have a history. But I guess Dylan Brooks either had a quote or a tweet or something, and in the podcast, Draymond's just like going line by line on his quote and just like dissecting, each sentence and basically saying like more or less the conclusion was your teammates don't like you, you're not a winner. Your team's never going to go anywhere until you leave the team.
Wow.
So my projection is that both of them get tossed out of this game.
Can we bet on that?
I wish we could. You can by betting their unders.
That's true.
But I would lay off of both of them. Hopefully you don't have a play on either of them.
Yeah. Good call. That's the probably the 2 biggest enforcers, right? In the league, right? The 2 2 villain kind of guys, right?
Yeah, and they're both like right on that edge of suspensions too if they get another T. So that might be the one thing that
Brooks just missed. He just got a suspension, right? For his
I think so.
16th or whatever it is.
I think they're both there. So anyway, we'll see what happens there.
All right. Matchup wise, so we got a nice matchup for stretch bigs, which is offensive, and anchor bigs, which is defensive against Golden State. So that's Jaren Jackson. Stretch bigs averaging 17.3 points per game. Anchor bigs 18.7 points per game, 10.1 rebounds per game. So I like his points here, mostly on the matchup. His last 2 games that he played without Brandon Clark and Ja Morant, he had 26 and 24 points. His line's 20.5 minus 120. So I like that. I didn't pay too much attention to steals and blocks today. But this was one that I did. He's one guy you got to look at. His block line's 2.5 minus 140. His last 2 games he played without Ja and Brandon Clark, he had 5 blocks in each of those 2 games. He's done this. Ready for this? He's had over 2.5 blocks in 21 of 24 home games this season, averaging 4.1 blocks per game. If you filter out the games where he played under 20 minutes, He's done this in 21 of 22 home games this season, averaging 4.5 blocks per game.
Yeah, and he's going to be super aggressive.
Yeah.
And he seems to be like staying in the games more this year, right? Like
Congratulations.
Nervous about his
fouls. Yeah,
in the past, but he seems to be controlling himself a little bit better.
Yeah.
So
yeah. All right. And then we got to run back Tyus Jones. You have a nice matchup, combo / point guards averaging 18.5 points per game. His line's 15.5. He's done this in 8 of 11 without Ja, averaging 19.1 points per game. He's done this in 4 of his last 5 at home without Ja, averaging 20.8 points per game. We cashed on it the other day. Let's run it back.
All right, very good.
Uno mas. Oh,
yeah,
did you have one?
I got one on the Warrior side. So
okay. I just have one more on Memphis here. Bane over 2.5 made threes. Chase defenders averaging 4 threes per game since February 1st. He's done this in 4 of 5 without Brandon Clark. He's done this in 8 of 9 without Ja, and he's done this in 3 of 4 without both of those guys in the lineup.
Yeah, and you know my theory about opponents against the Warriors. I've never supported this with any data, but the Warriors just like kind of create this
they bring out the 3 points.
Yeah, they create this game flow where it's like 3-point line to 3-point line. So I feel like that's perfect for him.
Yes, I wonder if the metrics. I wonder if the numbers would back that up. But I feel the same way.
We're gonna dive into that one day.
Yeah.
What
you got?
I just liked. It's a weird stat, but I liked Jordan Poole's rebounds tonight.
Okay, how'd you get there?
Over 2.5 rebounds, -120. He's done this 5 out of 6 games, his last 6 games, and he has 5 and 3 in his 2 matchups against Memphis. If you don't love that, you can also go the rebounds and assists over 6.5. He's done that in 8 of his last 10 games, and he had 12 and 5 versus Memphis. So for me, the rebounds was more compelling, just because he's done it in both matchups, and recently he's been getting there. So it'll be 3 if he gets there.
Yeah,
maybe 4. But I liked it. I just think this is going to be a competitive game. He's going to be aggressive.
You feel like getting extra sweaty tonight, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. I won't stay up for this. Well, what time is this game? I don't even know.
No, this is the first TNT game.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Let's
wait. Hold on. I had one on the Golden State side. This what?
Go ahead.
Oh, this is pretty crazy. Big / centers. Since February 1st, playing 25 plus minutes, averaging 14.1 rebounds per game against Memphis.
Yeah.
Also averaging 18.5 points per game. So I like Looney's par here. It's -120. It's 17.5 par. He's done this in 8 of his last 10 games, and he's averaging almost 22 par over his last 10 games.
Nice.
Yeah. So good spot for him.
Cool.
Yep.
All right. Next, we got the Nets at the Bucks. Bucks are -12. Totals 232. Nets are sitting pretty much everybody today. Claxton,
Cam Johnson,
Royce O'Neal, and of course, the bench will be led by Ben Simmons.
Yes.
I don't know who's playing for the Bucks either. They have a lot of questionable guys. It looked like everybody was going to play. But who knows? This would be a good spot to sit some of their guys. So
let's go to the next game. Did you have something?
I had just one, which I thought was kind of crafty. So DFS rebounds over 5.5 rebounds. In he's 4 out of 4 in games where he's on the Nets where he's played 30 minutes. Now that was like I was ready to just go crazy on this, but then I noticed in his last game against Milwaukee, which was on February 28th, so he was on the Nets, he only had 2 rebounds, and he did play 29 minutes. So so I thought that was not great to support this, but still, it just makes sense. Like, without all those other guys in the lineup, I mean, Dinwiddie's good for 4, Claxton's good for 8 to 10, Cam Johnson's good for 5 or 6 rebounds. Royce O'Neal, a couple. Like, somebody's going to have to grab rebounds. So I thought it was DFS today. 6 rebounds seems very doable, and I think this position against the Bucks is actually pretty good rebounding too.
Yeah. I was just I didn't do super large amount of digging into this game just because with all the guys missing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the only other one, again, light play, but if Holiday ends up sitting out, I would go heavy on Middleton assists. Right now they're at 4.5 assists, and he tends to cross that line. He had 11 in the last game where Holiday sat. So
interesting. Yeah. Okay. Nice.
All right. Final game. We got the Kings, Knicks at the Kings. Kings are -2.5. Nice total, 238.5. Knicks are coming off of a horrendous loss to the Hornets after having all that momentum. So hopefully it was a bounce back game for New York. What do you like here?
All right. This is the game of the night. There's more matchups especially on the Sacramento side, more matchups to dig into here than any other game. I believe the Kings are number one in points per possession, and I think the Knicks are number 3. So expect a super high scoring game here. It's just that there's just so much love to go around in this game. I think we're starting with let's start with the Sacramento side. A few matchups were just screaming to me here. First, I don't love playing this guy, Harrison Barnes, but it was calling to me. So for a few reasons, he's classified as a stationary shooter. They're averaging 14.5 points per game since February 1st. He's a forward/small forward, averaging 20.3 points per game. And defensively, he's a wing stopper, averaging also 18 and a half points per game. His line's 14 and a half. So you have all the good matchup stuff. Then he's done this in his last 3 of 4, averaging 18 and a half. Last 3 of 4 at home, averaging 16 and a half. Last 3 of 5 on 2 days rest at home, averaging 16 and a half. And his last 2 games against the Knicks, 15 and 23.
I like that. I think I was listening to something earlier today saying that Sabonis is probably going to be in a very physical matchup with Julius Randle a good portion of the night, and Mitchell Robinson. So I think that's going to open up opportunities for Barnes. Yeah. So that's the second take I've heard on Barnes tonight.
All right.
So
that's good. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. All right. I got another one. So you got a nice matchup here for forward/power forward, averaging 19 points per game against the Knicks. You also have help defenders averaging 20 and a half points per game against the Knicks. So that's Keegan Murray, both those categories. His line tonight's 11 and a half. He's done this in 7 of 10 at home, averaging 13 and a half. He's done this in his last 5 of 6, averaging 12 and a half. Last 2 games he played on 2 days rest at home, he had 14 and 16. And on December 11th, he had 18 points against the Knicks.
Yeah, that was my play too.
Nice.
Yeah, he's really been on fire of late. So I think he's a good play, especially at home. So let's go with Murray.
Sacramento at home is really good. And I got one more. So you got here Kevin Huerter. 21 and a half par. I like. The reason I like this is wings/shooting guards averaging 20.3 points, 5.8 rebounds, and 4.5 assists per game against the Knicks going back to February 1st when they played 25 plus minutes. Also, chase defenders against the Knicks averaging 7.7 rebounds and 5 assists per game. So that's also Kevin Huerter. So I like this 21 and a half par. He's done it in 4 of 6 on 2 days rest at home, averaging 24.2. He's done this in his last 3 of 4 overall, averaging 30 par over his last 4 games.
Wow.
Yeah. His last 2 home games, 38 and 31. And his last 2 against the Knicks, 28 and 26.
Yeah. Yeah, Knicks give up a lot of threes, right?
Yeah.
So that plays right into his game. So I like that a lot.
I love all 3 of these plays. I love this game. I love all 3 of these plays. I'm excited for this game. Yeah.
Anybody on the Knicks side?
I only have I think I only have one on the Knicks side. You have any?
Yeah, I like the guy we've been going up for recently, Mitchell Robinson. Again,
Okay.
8.5 points plus 105, so you get plus money. I think that's gone up from 7.5 to 8.5. These are his games since he's come back from injury: 10, 11, 10, 11, 13, 2 against Miami.
We know
which
that
is
one.
the game that we played. 13 and 14. So
Wow, super consistent.
Yeah, super consistent. 10 plus every game. And his previous matchup against Sacramento, which probably is the most valuable data point, he had 12. So I don't see why at plus money you wouldn't take 8.5 points.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty good.
It's hard to argue with that. He seems to be like a different player in terms of consistency since he's been back. So
yeah, it wasn't a matchup. I didn't look at him at all because it wasn't a matchup that was popping up. But sometimes, like you said yesterday, sometimes it's just about looking at the player and
the player, the
right.
recency, how hot
Exactly.
they are. Like the dynamic around them has changed.
Yeah.
So
I also I was treading a little lightly on the Knicks because Brunson's still not confirmed, right? That he's playing.
Yeah. Let me check.
Felt like that I kind of wanted to know that before I really got into like Randall or whatever. But the one play I did like because it was popping across across multiple categories here was RJ Barrett, who's been hot. So the reason I like this, he is classified as a secondary ball handler. They're averaging 14.6 points per game. So not a high total, but amongst secondary guys classified as secondary ball handlers, I think that was number 1 or number 2, this matchup against Sacramento here. So that was one reason. A little bit more compelling, wings/small forwards averaging 20.5 points per game. Also averaging 6.2 rebounds, 3.8 assists, and 3 made threes per game. And point of attack defenders averaging 19.8 points and 3 made threes per game. So I like both his points, 20.5. He's done this. We're looking super, super recent on Barrett here. His last 2 games, 27 and 29. His last 2 against Sacramento. Did he also have 27 and 29? I think so, yeah.
Wow, that's weird.
Yeah. And then I also like his over 1.5 threes. He's done this in 7 of 10 on the road, and the last 2 times he played Sacramento.
How many did he have in those?
2 and 3.
Okay, nice. So. I think I like that. Good stuff. Lots of choices on this last game. I mean, this is the one to go for. It's a total of 238.5. So the highest one on the board for the night.
Yeah. This will be a fun one.
All right. That's it.
Nice work.
We did it.
So we're gonna post these. We're gonna post these up on YouTube in the description, and then we would do some like we did yesterday on Twitter. So
yeah, we'll get some deep dives. I think people are enjoying those a little bit more, so that you can kind of see the analysis behind the picks.
All right. Nice work.
Good stuff.
All right. Bye.